These are like one of my favorite things. Writing a function rule for each table. It's basically saying, figure out the puzzle of what's going on here. Figure out how some equation where I put in 1, I got out 5. I put in 2, I got out 6. 3 to 7, 4 to 8. We have to figure out something that works for every set of those. So if you're thinking, how could I go from 1 to 5? You could think, oh, well, you could do times 5, or you could add 4, or you could multiply it by 2 and add 3, but we need to find something that is consistent for all of these. So let's check the times 5. So that works. 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. Oh, that doesn't work then. But how about plus 4? 2 plus 4 is 6. Oh. 3 plus 4 is 7. 4 plus 4 is 8. No way, bro! So that's our equation, that's our pattern. So every time you're taking the x value and you are adding 4. So we're going to say f of x equals the x value plus 4. That is one way to do it. So I'm going to show you another way that you can also do these. There's usually 2 things we look for. There may be a number in front of the x, and there may be a number dangling at the end. So I always check for the number in front of the x first, and here's how we find that. We're calling this the rate of change. So later we're going to call it a slope. So you check the second column, the y column, and you see how much did they change here? And they went up 1 as these went up 1. So 1 over 1 is 1. That number would go in front of the x. Then we put in one of our x values. Like if I put in 1, or heck, let's go with 3. If I put in 3 for x, 1 times 3 is 3, but I need to get to 7. So what would I have to add to it? 4. Or if you're like, oh, well, if I choose 4, 1 times 4 is 4, but I need to get to 8, so I would need to add 4. So really your equation is f of x equals 1x plus 4, but we don't write 1x, you just write x. So that's where we get this equation. So this one was pretty simple. They're going to get a little more complicated, which is where this will come in handy, but we will get there eventually. Don't worry there. Now if you look at this chart, 1 to 1, so you could say, well, it's plus 0, you could say it's times 1, but 3 plus 0 is 3, and I have 9. 3 times 1 is 3, but I have 9. Okay. 6 to 36, huh? 9 to 81, oh, but what? So this is kind of an inconsistent pattern, which something to look for if you have that is like, try squaring the first column. Multiply it by itself. 1 times 1 is 1. 3 times 3 is 9. 6 times 6 is 36. 9 times 9 is 81. So you are multiplying the first column by itself. The way you indicate that is by saying squared. So for this one, we could say y equals x squared. Anytime you take the first column and you square it, multiply it by itself, you get the second column.